Hello, GamerNemy here and welcome to my Bryan Fury character introduction guide video where I help you decide on whether or not Bryan is the character for you. So if you're looking to pick up Bryan, I'm going to do a basic summary breakdown on how this character works in this game. So I'll break down stuff like his archetype, what makes him strong in this game, his weaknesses, his strengths, punishment, grabs, lows, combo damage, difficulty level, and all that jazz. It's basically a summary of how Bryan works, and I'll help you decide on whether or not he's your main or potential character that you think of playing in Tekken 8. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so first let's talk about Bryan's difficulty level. Now this is aimed towards mostly the beginners. So Bryan's difficulty level, I would say, is about average, because the thing about Bryan is he rewards you the more you get to play him. So what I mean by that is he's got like super high level stuff that you get to do when you master the character. So one example is his taunt, right? So if you guys don't know, his taunt is more of a guard break, which guarantees him about 14 frames guaranteed. Now it's very difficult to do, right? It's like a super timing thing. I don't play Bryan, by the way, so I might not land this. But like I said, it's very, very difficult. So anyway, he rewards you for playing him longer, right? The more you play Bryan, the more rewarded you are, because you get good with the character. You start doing like, combo cancels and stuff like that, right? So if you really love Bryan, and I advise you to really, really commit to the character. Now, not to chase you guys away, most of the beginners, you will be, like, Bryan is a very easy character to play, like the basic stuff, right? You won't really have to learn the hard stuff or the sweaty stuff for you to do well with Bryan. You can use him efficiently even without that stuff. So the only difficult thing with Bryan, like I said, is after you master him, he does have some pretty ridiculous stuff. But overall, he's a very easy character to pick up. You can go with him as a beginner. I advise it. The only other difficult thing, I guess, is the slide input. Has a lot of like quarter circle back, quarter circle forward motions. So the slide, he has moves like this. He's low, the slide back, right? Quarter circle forward moves as well, right? So yeah, those are the only difficult things about Bryan. But overall, as a beginner, he's not that complicated. He has very, very basic stuff. So if you're looking to pick up Bryan as a beginner and you're worried about difficulty, do not worry that much about it. Okay, so now let's get into Bryan's punishment, which in this game is like meh, right? His punishment is like average to below average, especially compared to most of the characters in the cast. This is one of Bryan's weakest strong suits in the game, which is overall punishment. So for 10 frames, he has 1-4. As you can see, 19 damage plus 4. Not that ridiculous. Doesn't look good. Doesn't feel good, in my opinion. Very, very basic. How Jin get like a 2-4. Kazuya gets 1-1-2 knockdown. This one doesn't give him much, right? And it's just really, really basic. And same applies to his 12 frame Punisher as well, which is 4-3. 27 damage plus 2 only, so not that great. Most characters get a knockdown at 4 frames, like Lars forward 2-4, for example. Kazuya back 1-2. So yeah, standing punishment as for Bryan is not that great. We go to 13, we have down forward 2-1, which is decent. Plus 5 high mid. You can go into back sway by holding back, so you can throw out back sway moves like 1, go low if you want. So it was buffed in this game, which is pretty decent, but overall not something too crazy. Like I said, at 13 frames, most characters get a knockdown punish, but Bryan gets, not so great. He also has forward 2. Now this one comes out at, it says 13 frames, but like because of the forward input, it comes out slower, maybe 14 to 15 frames. Now this is used as your long range Punisher, right? For characters like Paul Phoenix, Death Fist, this will be your Punisher or your long range Punisher. So now we go to 14 where things get good. Because at 14 frames, he has a launcher, 14 frame launcher. And as you guys know, not many characters in this game get a launcher at 14 frames. So Bryan is an exception. Characters like Bryan, I think Lars as well, get 14 frame Punisher, which is very, very strong. A character having a 14 frame punish is ridiculous. Ridiculously strong. At 15, he has no launcher. Of course, since you already have, 20 jet upper, you don't need anything else. But you have stuff like forward 2, 1-4, knockdown in hit. You get the longer version, right? 48 damage, pretty good. You have down back 1+2, 15 frames as well, 15 frame hit engager. So pretty good overall. You also have down forward 1 and 1 4. Natural combo. If the first one hits, everything hits at 15 frames. So yeah, the jet upper makes up for everything else he has at 15 frames. For not having a launch rather at 15 frames. Outstanding punishment is pretty decent, average at best. He has outstanding 4, generic. Not much to talk about this one. You know, basically almost like every outstanding 4 in the game. He has outstanding 3 as well, which is pretty decent at 12 frames. He has an extension. The second hit, I think, knocks back. What is it, counter? Yeah, knocks back. This one is a counter hit launcher. So it's basically used more so as a counter hit feature than a punisher, right? You already have outstanding 4. Then at 13 frames, you have full crouch down forward to 1. Now, this is one of his stronger punishers, right? Very strong punisher. Got this in Tekken 7, so obviously it would be strong. 37 damage, knocks down, looks super sick, was plus at all as well. So very insane 13 frame punisher. Then at 15 you have your launcher, which is our outstanding 1. Pretty good overall, nothing too crazy. So this is basically your launcher for big lows. You also have Fisherman Slam, which comes out at I think 90. This is like your big punish for moves like Pod, Demolition Man, Bryan, Snake Edge, the low sweep as well. Yeah. So overall punishment, Bryan is not that character. If you want like super top tier punishment, he is not that character for you. I'm sorry. If punishment is your stronghold, yeah, Bryan isn't it, but overall it gets the job done. Okay, and now let's talk about Bryan's laws. As you know, in Tekken you must have at least decent laws for you to do well in this game, because that's like the strongest way to break down your opponent's weakness or your opponent's defense, is the laws. So in terms of laws, I would say Bryan's laws are, I would say average, but the thing is Bryan has very strong mids to the point that he doesn't really need that many lows, right? Because his mids are so strong, he doesn't need more lows, if that makes sense, right? So his strongest law, as you guys have seen, is low soccer kick. Very strong law. One of the best laws in the game, +5, right? Like it's very strong, right? And like there's no big reason to duck against Bryan, right? Because like I said, it's enough, like it's more than enough, right? Also knocks down on counter hit, gives you a follow-up, so you can get, I believe, yeah, mid soccer kick. So as you can see, having mids like this, right? Because this has the same input or the animation quarter circle back. This is quarter circle back 3, this is quarter circle back 4. So they kind of look alike, right? So people tend to duck a lot, right? So because his mids are so strong, his lows are pretty much like okay. They are okay, right? This is basically his biggest like chunky low, right? At -13. Everything else he has are like pokes, right? He has down 3, decent range, right? Only 10 damage, he has down 4, 13 damage, has good pushback. It's good for setting up stuff and baiting opponents, right? To just dash in randomly after this. It's really good. Now, as you'll see later in the video, this all plays out in like conjunction with his archetype. Like it all makes sense. Like you have to watch a video to really understand what I'm trying to say. Basically, this is the only low that you ever need, right? He also has down back 3. Sorry, I forgot about this one, which is 11 damage. But this one is good because it is high crush low, which means it goes under high, which is very good because in this game, there are very strong high moves like counter hit fishing moves like Steve back 1, for example. So you're having a high crushing low is very good. And this is where Bryan's down back 3 comes into play. Because back 3 does not go under jab. So this gets interrupted a lot, right? So you have to rely on stuff like this, down back 3, to go under the high. So in terms of lows, not that great, I will admit, but it's more than enough this character needs, because you'll see later in the video. Alright, so Bryan's archetype, like what is this character's signature? What is this character's identity? What does he do and how are you supposed to use all those tools at your disposal? So Bryan in this game is a counter hit god, a counter hit and pressure god, right? He is that guy. With Bryan, almost everything you throw out is going to be a counter hit launcher. I think he's the best counter hit character in the game, if not him, then Lee. Either between him and Lee. Oh my god, rip Steve. So like he has a lot of tools. He has 3+4 launches on counter hits, right? He has back 1 launches on counter hit, and back 1 is amazing as well because like I said, counter hit and pressure game, right? So back 1 is +4 on block. right? Has very good tracking, and is a counter hit launcher as well. So this is like spam heavy, bro. This is Bryan player's favorite move is back one. Very, very strong move. He has the last hit of 1-2-1-2-1. He's a counter hit launcher. This is very, very annoying because he can just pressure you with jabs, right? You know, jab, jab, 1-2, jab, 1-2-3, boom. You press buttons, counter it. Very, very annoying. He also has a low from this. You can use it as a very good mix-up and throw your timing off. Very, very strong. He has forward 3. Another safe counter hit launcher because, you know, it's Bryan, why not? He has full crouch, down forward 4. Oh, sorry, this doesn't launch anymore. Sorry, guys, I'm stuck in Tekken 7. Forgive me. This was nerfed, sadly. He has side step 1. Counter hit, that gives you a knockback, guarantees you 15 frames. So you can get down back 1+2 and go into hit. So as you can see, just basically, he's very counter hit heavy. Sorry, even got a back 2, counter hit launcher as well, right? Very counter hit heavy character, and like I said, plus frames as well. This on block is +5. Counter hit safe. Hi, this looks sick as well, by the way. Look at how sick this is, and the range is ridiculous, right? So yeah, plus frames and counter hit game. That's Bryan's identity. That's Bryan's archetype, and that's Bryan's biggest strength. Like I said, top 3 best counter hit character in the game. Top maybe 5 plus frame pressure in the game. You know, he has stuff like, you can just abuse this, right? Boom, mid, low soccer kick, plus frames, more plus frames, everything is a counter hit. So yeah, that's what makes Bryan very scary in this game. And the fact that he has so many counter hit tools, it makes your opponent very hesitant, right? And I feel as though Bryan is the character a lot of people respect the most when it comes to like poking, right? You don't want to press random buttons against Bryan because, bro, you're gonna regret it, right? You're gonna regret it because, bro, his damage is ridiculous, his counter hit game is ridiculous, and if you stay blocking, you know, he can break your guard with low soccer kick, he can break your guard with guard break, with taunt, especially at the wall. So yeah, Bryan is a menace at this game. He is a menace. So lastly, we'll talk about Bryan's hit mechanics because this plays a huge role in your gameplay as well as, you know, your archetype. So remember we talked about how high his combo damage is. So Bryan has this install called Snake Eyes. So basically he does this after a taunt or after certain moves. As you can see, his arms glow red, right? So moves like up 40+4 will give you this mode as well, or this install, right? So there we go, he gets it as well. So he can get it like after a combo, like this, boom, he gets the buff, right? That's basically how that works. So now Bryan, when he is in this install, certain moves become powered up. So in general, about 4 to 3 moves become powered up. So firstly, is forward 2-1-2, forward 2-1-4, right? 15 frame Punisher gets a huge buff, right? So let's look at the Snake Eyes. So he gets this, boom, right? 48 damage. I believe I showed you guys earlier. And as you can see, his arms stop glowing, right? So the install goes away when you use a particular move from Snake Eyes. Secondly, he gets his upward, this is upward 53, right? So as you can see, in normal mode or in neutral, you can get 3 hits with the jabs, then the 4th hit at the end. So 4 hits total. When he's in install or when he is in Snake Eyes, you get 6 hits from 4 to 6, and this does more damage. This is like that crazy war combo I showed you guys earlier, and this is what elevates his damage to like a massive scale in this game, right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Snake Eyes combo, it's insane. Very, very strong. He also gets a parry when he is in Snake Eyes. So let me just show you guys this. I record. Okay. So I'll go into Snake Eyes. Okay, play. You see that, right? It goes through attacks, right? It's like a counter. Yeah, so that's forward 1+2, pretty insane, looks sick as well. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's basically how his Snake Eyes works. It buffs those particular moves. Oh, he has one more as well. So we spoke about 3+4 earlier, right? And how it it's a counter hit move, right? Counter hit launcher. So when he is in Snake Eyes, he gets an extension, right? So 3 plus 4, 1 plus 2, right? So people tend to press buttons a lot after 3 plus 4 as a rebuttal because there's like so much pushback. So a lot of people like running back in, right? So when you go into Snake Eyes, boom, right? You can throw out the last hit to like stop them from coming in, right? This is particularly strong at the wall. And the icing on the cake about this move is that you can hold the second hit and it becomes a guard break, right? So reset first, boom. Let's go into Snake Eyes, okay? Put him on block, then I'll hold it, right? You see that? Yeah, that's pretty freaking strong. That's freaking strong, especially at the wall. An advanced level with Bryan having a guard break at the wall, it's pretty freaking scary, right? So how Bryan's hit works is whenever he goes into hit, he is in permanent install. And the install won't go away until you run out of hit, right? So you can use all your install moves or all your Snake Eyes moves at the cost of a hit bar instead. Right, so that's basically how his hit mechanic works. So there you go, guys, a simple introduction to Bryan in Tekken 8 and how you're supposed to use him, what his strengths are and what his weaknesses are. So if you're looking for a character that excels at counter hits, huge combo damage and plus frames, and Bryan is that character for you, with his biggest weakness being mediocre punishment and not enough high crush lows. So he will be disrespected at some point, but he does have scary counter hit tools, which makes him an insane character in this game. So if you like the introduction guide and thinking of picking up another character, then why not check out Leroy Smith? So GG guys, and take care.